mostly for community projects, because we want our citizens to stay, but we must give them something that they can live on. So that is what that $200 million is for. That is for just for 1,500 returnees. Now we are going to get more returnees from Europe and other countries. It's a fact. We don't want to give our people hope that the people in Europe are not going to come back. Europe had enough. They will do everything to send some people back. But mostly are people who are involved in criminal activities, selling drugs and all this. If you violate somebody's laws, obviously they have all rights to send you back. But then, this is an issue where we all is a concern to every Gambian. There are some risks that we cannot talk on air. People going, some of them are going to come back. We as a country need to do anything possible to discourage migration. We cannot stop it, but we need to do something to discourage it so that our young people can stay.
But when you say there are things we cannot talk about on air, I understand the interior being sensitive, security being a sensitive issue, but again, this is Face the Nation. We want to put everything on the table so everyone knows what's happening.
Yeah, because the reason I say that people are just narrowly focused on the remittances. And I keep telling people remittances will not develop any country because it increases dependency. If you go to my village now, all the fishermen, all the farmers have stopped. Nobody wants to go to fishing for fishing now because they are all getting little remittances. Cost of living is going up. Nobody wants to do serious farming because they are getting remittances. They are dependent on these people. They don't understand how these people are getting these monies. We cannot have a society where we are creating more lazy people than we can afford. So these are things that the mindset of the people, we need to educate our people to understand. Now it's not the very right time because if you go to our own communities, you're trying to discourage our parents not to stop sending their kids this back way. You are the enemy. You become the enemy because this guy doesn't want my prosperity because he was asking me not to send my child. When my neighbor's child is there, now they are living in a cement block. But sustainability. That you live in that small block today, couple of years down the road, that man comes back, he has some mental problem or he has some other issues. What is the cement block worth it? People are withdrawing from schools, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, going this back way. And most of the time it's the parents behind them. Especially now, the things have changed. Before it was the fathers, now it's the mothers who are selling their jewelry, who are selling their cattle, who are selling their whatever they have to push their kids out, to go out. It's very sad. And the thing is, some of these young people...
We're very familiar with the factors that lead people to go on the illegal migration. But those that voluntarily come back, I mean, you cannot go through all of that. Remember, we should understand, when they come back, there is stigma attached. People will say, Kidama Europe, Nyona, but has nothing to show for it. Right? Yeah. So that also can even lead to mental instability and increased crime rate and other stuff. What is your ministry doing to cope that? To help them in the situation?
This is just not the Ministry of the Interior. This, you are now talking about a policy, a national policy on a very complex situation, a very complex issue. This is a national issue. It's not only the Ministry of Interior that can handle this. The government needs to take a stand as to think, how do we address this? How do we discourage this thing? How do we prevent this thing from happening? Like I said, this is a small country. If we invest in youth employment, we create factories and job opportunities for our young people. I have lived in the US for 70 years. I can tell you I've never met anybody from Libya or Ivory Coast those days. Because they don't travel. They are very content with what was happening in their country. We can do better than that. In Rwanda, the government is forcing its citizens not to go out because they are only getting in migration, not outward migration. They're telling their people go out and experience the world because people don't want to go out. They are very happy in their country. The people are happy in their country. They don't want to leave. This is what we need to do to create job opportunities for
So in conclusion, your Gambians are very unhappy in the Gambia. Well, we'll move on to another topic right now, another issue, which is the prison reforms. Earlier this year, the prison doors were open, and every Gambian was appalled as to what we saw in there. The way of living, the standard of living was honestly disheartening and heartbreaking. And yes, we have had several times the minister himself say they would change prison system, there would be reforms, and a lot has been said. And yes, we were hopeful then, but the question again is, what is happening now?
Thank you, Teneng, for that question. I was all expecting that.
Okay, good to know.
As you rightly said, when this new government came into power, I think the first thing they did was to go straight to the prisons and show the whole world about the situation of the prisons. Which definitely was not very pleasing, because this is the Gambia. This is the only country we have. Those incarcerated in that prisons are our own blood brothers and sisters, maybe our uncles. So seeing our own bloods in that kind of situation, definitely it doesn't tell well. So when the minister came, I was appointed to that, because they believe that maybe there could be changes, and definitely there is changes going on. When you know the prison before and the prison now, definitely it is different. I used to tell people that, well, we are in a reformation, but people, I don't think whether they know really what is reformation. Maybe they think, they might think that the structural changes, though the structural changes is part of reformation, but what is more important is the regime, is the activities that is taking place there in the prisons. And I think my PS can attest to that. There has been a lot of changes, especially in the human rights issue and other stuff. So we are doing it. And just recently that I was tasked that there is going to be a committee for this prison reform, and already recommendation has been sent to the ministry for that committee to hold. Maybe very soon you will see us in the air or in the.
What types of reforms are we looking forward to here?
Well, first of all, we need to look at the Prisons Act. The
act itself.
The Prison Act, which is a colonial.
It's outdated.
It's really outdated. We need to look into that first. We have no other choice, because it is the only act we are having, so we have to work on that.
And then how about when it comes to things that happen in the prison itself, inside, when it comes to, because they complain about the food, they complain about the accommodation, yes, it's true they are prisoners, but again, I mean, some things are just purely inhuman.
Yeah, just today, as part of my routine, I went to the prisoners to have a face-to-face discussion with them to know their problems, because previously that never happened. My predecessors who were there before, most of them never did that. But as for me, it is part of my processes. Time to time, even today I was there to know their concerns. And definitely some of them attest to it, that definitely the food is not good. And we are so most of the complaints are that. But when I came, there was a kind of ration there called pap. I think is made up from these schools. When I came,
that's Rui, right?
Yeah, it's a Rui. I did my own findings. So from there, previously, as you know, there were so many mortalities in the prisons, which I cannot even hide here. Day in, day out, on weekly basis, when you go to the mortuary, you will find maybe 2 or 3 prisoners there. But thank God, with the support of the ministry, when I took over from this from February up to date, there was no mortality that has been registered. So, to me, I think we have improvement in the food, because I have totally condemned, I have totally substituted that pap to bread and butter. So, and definitely with prisoners, definitely.
Okay, out of my own curiosity, what type of butter?
Well, margarine, yeah, and milk.
I want to add that the Director General of Prisons is talking about. When we took over in February, the first thing that came to us as key on our priority list was the security sector reform. We have a security sector that was on the principled and underperforming. Now, when we talk about security sector reform, it's not just about the police and the army. It includes the prisons, it includes our judicial system, it includes our intelligence. Now, we took the prisons very seriously. The prisons was about close to 900 inmates. When we took over today, the prison population is about 204. Our priority first was to decongest the prisons seriously. That is, let go people who are there unnecessarily sometimes. There are people who are in prison for 10 years just with a joint of marijuana or small quantity of marijuana because of the draconian laws put in place by the former regime. You cannot send a young person with talents to prison for 10 years for just a small quantity of marijuana. It's not acceptable. So we congested the prison as our key priority. Second, to improve the diet and the bedding. The diet, we went to finance and said, look, it needs to be, if you have to increase the budget for prison,